Hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Knits. My name is Rachel. I like to host these podcasts just to talk about my current works in progress. Occasionally, I will ramble on about other things as well. I wanted to do a video today because a lot is happening. A lot is happening. I swear every time I turn on YouTube or Instagram or the news, I just keep reading more and more about things that hurt me to the core, but I am going to engage in activities that bring me joy, that bring me a peace of mind. And so this is the reason why I'm filming with you today, because maybe you too had a day where you were just like, I've had enough, and you need some inspiration to kind of channel that negative energy that you might be feeling in your heart into something positive. Whether you are making a red hat to show your sign of resistance, or you are donating, or you're celebrating Black History Month, whatever it is that you're doing in order to renew your spirit, I celebrate you and I'm here for you. And so today I wanted just to catch you up on what's going on with my current works in progress, as well as to give a little pattern review, to show off my new hairdo. I have as well, the purple is back. Some of my students were like, oh, it's purple again. I'm like, yes, purple is back again. So with that said, let's dive in. So first thing first, I am wearing the champagne cardigan. This is a pattern by Petite Knit. And one of the reasons why I wanted to especially wear this today, because I don't know if you've seen, Andrea Murray has a new pattern out and it's called the Frost Lines. And what I love so much about this particular pattern is how squishy it looks. Like it immediately looks like something you want to just wrap yourself in and just like snuggle close, especially with the current weather that we're having here in Massachusetts. It is inviting all the all the knitting and cozy vibes, which I'm down for. So I wanted to wear my champagne cardigan just to see, like, do I really want another cardigan in my closet? I have several cardigans that I wear on a regular basis. So much, in fact, is one of the reasons why I haven't really made one recently, because I'm happy with what I have and I don't really feel like my wardrobe needs another one. But that particular cardigan has definitely, piqued my interest. And there's a couple of other cardigans that's in my queue that I wouldn't mind adding to my repertoire of cardigans, because it is something I do enjoy wearing. Not as much as a hoodie. I love wearing my hoodies. But anywho, that's what I'm wearing right now. The yarn that I used for this was the Sunday Merino. So I'm going to grab a ball of it. Here it is. So this is the yarn in white. And so this is usually 118 yards for the Sanders Garn double Sunday. And it worked up really quickly. Like, I can honestly say this was a pattern I couldn't put down. She did a fantastic job explaining how to successfully do the raglan increase while maintaining the stitch definition, the what is it? What is this called? What is this called? The button band. There it is. The button band was super simplistic. I was definitely thinking it was going to take a while. I definitely didn't have a lot of hope that it was going to come out as neat as it actually did. So I was really pleased with that. And I never sewed on the buttons. I was a little bit fatigued by this particular point and I just wanted to be done. But I did follow the directions to make the buttonholes if I ever just got over myself and did it. This yarn though, again, another one of the reasons why I wanted to do a video, because I wanted to do some reviews with you too. This yarn peels like a son of a biscuit. So I don't know. Yeah, you can see it. It's all there. Now for me, it really doesn't bother me too much when things are peeling. However, it does bother me when sometimes it gets caught up in my hair or my children's hair. So that's my only critique, I guess I would say, about it. But all in all, I genuinely love this sweater. I wear it on a regular basis. It's not as warm as some of my others. So I do have some other merino, superwash merinos that I feel snuggle me up. And I have some non-superwash merinos that I definitely feel much more cozy in. But this one, I can feel the breeze. I don't know if it's because it has a little bit more gape in it, whatnot, but it's not as warm as like my red petite knit Copenhagen sweater. Every time I wear that one, I am nice and snug in it. So just wanted to share about what is working and isn't working with this pattern. I definitely love it. So much, in fact, that I do see myself knitting one. However, I do want to try the Andrea Murray pattern. I went ahead and purchased it just in case I will move forward with it. One of my friends and I were talking about maybe spinning for it. Right now, I'm in currently trying to spin for the Jaunty, which I'm in the middle of filming a vlog about that particular experience. It's been an experience, but I'm super excited about what its potential outcome for it. Another finished object I wanted to share with you. I can't remember if I talked about it on my last video, so I just thought I just mention it one more time. So this is an Andrea Mowry pattern. This is the shift along hat, and I decided to use my hand spun. And so this is my leftover hand spun. It looks like I made about 100 grams, and so this is what I have left over after making the hat. And I used my other hand spun that I practiced on. This pink I borrowed from my friend. She had this beautiful pink merino, and I was like, I want to try it. And so I'm glad I did. And it came out quite lovely. I definitely enjoy wearing this hat. It's super snug, which I didn't think I would like. I usually like a hat that has a little bit more little bit of space here, but for me, actually, I like the fact that it fits so snugly and it doesn't itch. I was really surprised by that. I wore it for a good couple of hours and completely forgot I had it on until I remembered. I was like, oh, why is my head so warm? And I remembered I had on my hat and whatnot. It feels very comfortable, even with my braids. It doesn't feel heated or itchy or anything as I'm scratching my head right now. But definitely am glad I went ahead and cast this on. This was an excellent way to use my hand spun. It hides a lot of the imperfections because of the textured pattern associated with this. And if you're looking for the perfect hat pattern to use or to make something with your hand spun, I definitely highly recommend the shift along hat. So far, so good. I have nothing but positive things to say about this. Another product review I wanted to give for another finished object. Not that this is the most recent. I'm going to try to hold this up because it's still on the blocking mat. This is the Flores top. This is the top I've been making for my sister-in-law. And as you can see, she is all finished. I decided not to do the long sleeve version of it or the 3/4 length due to the due to the yarn difference. I don't know if my sister-in-law grabbed a different skein of yarn or if it was just a spin of it, but there's a different type of feel to the top of the sweater versus the bottom, and I didn't think it would look right without it. The good thing is that I do have enough yarn left over, so she should decide that she wants it long sleeve. It would be really easy to undo the I-cord cast off and add a couple of more inches to it. But I have to say, I was at knitter's fatigue. I was so overdoing that pattern by the time I got past the sleeves. Like, I just could not work on it anymore. So I had to use my journal to make a little plan for myself. So I promised myself, if you can just do 30 minutes every day to make at least progress. And in that 30 minutes, your goal is to complete 2 rounds. And that's what I did. What was great is that there were some instances where I'm like, you know what, I'm on a momentum, I'll keep going. And this is the reason why I was able to finish it earlier this week. So I'm really glad that I stuck with it, because I definitely was ready to quit and put that pattern in, or the garment in hibernation, and come back to it later. And it inspired me to pick up my knits and work on some other objects. So I wanted to share with you a couple other works in progress I'm doing right now. So in this lovely bag, that's from Yarn and Whiskey, that was gifted to me a while ago now. This is the beginning of the zipper sweater. I decided to cast this on again after an epic fail with trying to dye yarn at 10 o'clock at night. Don't ever do that. I highly don't recommend that. But nevertheless, I cast it on again, and it took me 2 tries to get the cast on, because I'm using merino as well, merino, alpaca, and mohair, and it was just too slippery. I kept slipping off the needles, but fortunately I finally could figure out my rhythm, and I was able to do the Judy Magic cast on. I'm about 2 inches away from being able to fold it over and go. I don't want the collar to be too high, so I'm trying to pay close attention to it, and I'm almost at a point now where I think I'm almost there, but I also don't want to give in to the temptation where I'm like, let me just rush through this so I can hurry up and get this done. With this particular zipper sweater, I'm using some alpaca wool merino that I had, that I don't know the name of the brand. I want to say it's Barocco, based on the pictures I found online. I think this is Barocco's yarn. So far, so good. It's working out pretty well. I am testing out almost every black mohair I could get my hands on. So right now I'm using the Isagar, and then I will be transitioning back to Shabui, I think is what it's called. I will also be trying out knitting for Olive's black mohair. And the last but not least will be a Barocco. Where is it? Oh, also Drops Kid Silk. I will be trying it out with that. And then I will be finishing it with a Barocco. Sorry, the lighting. Maybe it will be a little better. I wanted you to see the tag. Ah, there it is. So that is the name of their mohair, and this is my first time trying theirs. All the others I've used it in other projects before, so this is my very first. And so far, so good. For this, it's a little cheaper than the other ones, and I find it to be just as soft as Isagar. At least when I did like the neck test, there's 284 yards for it too. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So far, I'm not complaining. I'm really am excited to see the outcome of it, and trying out the different mohair is keeping me more engaged with the project. I know that they're not the exact same color black, but I figure it would add a little spice to it. I don't want it to look too monotone. Another project that I am working very hard on is, let me just grab it. It's the last completed spin I did. I did a fractal spin a couple of weeks ago and had such a great time with it. The wool turned out amazing. And so I'm currently doing another Tunisian crochet project, and this is called the Lamia wrap. This is a pattern by Toni Lipsey, and you know I love Toni Lipsey. And so this is where I'm at so far. Haven't had an opportunity to work on it as much this week because my focus has been on some other whips, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But it's slow and steady made the progress. I think the last time I mentioned this or showed a picture of it in my vlog, I was around here. And so pretty good for given the fact that I am not consistently working on it. This is my go-to project when I'm in a meeting or I'm on a Zoom call, which seems to be happening more and more lately as well. So here is the yarn, and it came out so I can't believe I made yarn with my own hands. So I feel really proud of myself, and I love the variation that it's giving me as well. So I must say I'm enjoying spinning as much as I love my spin cycle, because y'all know I love my spin cycle. I am definitely enjoying the just the rhythmic nature of spinning wool. I also am enjoying the outcome when I apply it together. I think that's my favorite part because I love to see how it ends up matching up together, and you never know what's going to happen. One of the reasons why I haven't been engaging with the Tunisian crochet project is due to another test knit. I know I said I wouldn't do it. I know, but I couldn't help myself. You know how I feel about Veronica Lindbergh, and I absolutely love her patterns. There's too many to mention that I've test knitted for. So this is probably like my 10th or 11th one, if not more. But this is for her latest V-neck sweater. She is calling it the cozy or comfy. Hang on one second. I'm going to tell you the name of it. This is called the Comfort Zone sweater. So here's a picture of it. And so the Comfort Zone sweater is a really basic stockinette pattern that is intended to be V-shaped. And right now I am at the point I didn't want to get too many barber cords or the tubes. So I have my left front on holding, my back is on holding, and I'm almost finished with the left front. So wait, I'm on the left or right? I think I'm on the left. I think I finished the right and I'm on the left right now. And so, yeah, I'm almost done with it actually. I just finished doing the last increase to do the neck shaping, and now I'm about to join the two fronts together, and it's coming along really quickly. And I think the main reason why is the following. I am a big fan of Purl Soho. I've always admired the yarn, but for whatever reason, I haven't jumped the gun in purchasing too many skeins of their yarn. But let me tell you, this yarn on a cone has become my new best friend. First of all, it's a DK light worsted. It works up so well in the stitch definition. I cannot tell you how much I'm in love. I'm in love. Look at that. The stitch definition is magnificent. And what else I love about it is that it doesn't feel scratchy, because I just assumed it would because it's on a cone. I didn't think it would be much effort that they put into like plying and spinning on a cone, and I was so wrong. It is so soft. It feels so luxurious. I want to knit everything with it. I can totally see it becoming a new workhorse yarn for me, because Cascade 220 has always been my go-to, fairly inexpensive, a variety of different color yarn. But what I love about this yarn on a cone is that they have so many different colorways, and you get about 500 grams of yarn, which is over 2,000 yards according to their website. And another thing is that the turquoise one I have somewhere in the collection. That one I made 2 hats and a scarf with, and I still have over 200 grams of yarn left. And with this one, I can totally see myself making another sweater with it. I cannot wait to finish this one to cast on another sweater. It is a very, very beautiful yarn, and I'm really glad I purchased it. The turquoise one, I purchased it when it was on sale for $99. So I was like, how am I going to say no to that one? And the gray one I'm using right now, I got it for $109. You know how they always have things on sale. So if you see a sale and you want to give it a try, I would definitely recommend it. I've had zero complaints about the hat. It's very warm and cozy. I used it on my knitting machine, the Sorrento, and made 2 hats with it. I also made a scarf with it too, and can honestly say it has so far so good. No peeling. Has excellent stitch definition, whether you're using your hands or a knitting machine. All in all, I have nothing but positive things to say, and I'm really glad that I purchased both of it, and I cannot wait to cast on something else with it as well. So I don't know about y'all, but I've been dealing with some cast on issues a bit time. So I decided to recast on the Rosie sweater. So got going on a Rosie sweater, started to make progress with it, and fell in love with it. I'm using Drop Sky, and I'm having a really good time with it. And I'm loving how soft this is. I did not think Drop Sky was going to be this soft. I thought it was going to be a little plastically, just to be honest with you, which is the reason why I didn't want to like dive too deep. And I've definitely become a little bit of a yarn snob. But all in all, I've been enjoying this so much, in fact, that I started to rethink using this yarn for the Rosie sweater and using it for another project. So I was going back and forth with myself. And then when Andrea Mowry came out with her most recent pattern, I was like, well, maybe I can use my Drop Sky for that cardigan as well as some of my hand spun too, because I was definitely thinking of adding some hand spun to it because it calls for stripes. And I thought it would be fun to spin up not only yarn for the stripes, but maybe for like the edging. I don't know, just have ideas, all these ideas, right? So as I was contemplating this, I saw that this Etsy shop out of London was having a sale on Cardiff cashmere. So I bought it. So I got a box of one of their gift boxes of Cardiff cashmere. It was on sale. It was Knitted London, I believe was the name of the Etsy shop. Obviously, I'm going to put all this in the description, but you see how it matches my hair. Oh, I didn't really realize that until camera. Yeah, I guess it does match my hair. Cool. I've been talking about getting Cardiff cashmere for a hot minute. I've gone back and forth with myself about it because I didn't want to spend a buku amount of money on yarn, even though I spent a buku amount of money on yarn despite trying not to. But I decided to treat myself a little bit. Things have been going well for me professionally, and sometimes you just got to give yourself a little love. So I decided to give myself a little love by buying that for myself, and I don't regret it. I really don't. And here's the reason why. I'm in love. I am in love with this yarn. I see why it has such wonderful pattern reviews. Is it a little splitty? Absolutely. But I think if you use the right needle, you can avoid that. So I think if I were to knit with this yarn again, and if I had it in my stash, I would do that. Maybe I'll buy some more needles. Excuse me. I would use wooden needles. I wouldn't use my Chago steel tips. I have my 4mm Forte on 2 different projects right now, which is why I'm using some other lost and found interchangeables that I found in my little yarn, not my yarn set, my needle stash. And I was like, oh, let me just use those. So I'm cast on another Rosie sweater. And I just cannot say nothing but positive things so far. As you can see, the stitch definition is immaculate. It's making me look like a better knitter than what I am. I immediately cast on the second I got it, and I already did a gauge swatch because I had another skein of it, 2 balls of Cardiff cashmere that I'm planning on using in a colorwork vest at some point when I cast it on. So I'm really happy about this. I plan on using the contrasting color white. I believe it's either Cascade. Yeah, it's Cascade. So I was on Wool Warehouse because I needed another interchangeable cord, and I couldn't help but look at the yarn because it was there. So I was looking at the yarn, and I saw that Cascade has not only a new version of mohair, but they had cashmere, and I was like, "What's this about?" So I went ahead and purchased 2 skeins of their cashmere yarn. So I'm waiting for it to come. And as soon as it gets here, if it is compatible with this Rosie sweater, I'm just going to go ahead and use that as the roses in it. But if it doesn't work, I do have some other balls of cashmere that I purchased a few years ago, the Knitting for Olive one. And so I can always just use that too. I think it would look really pretty. And then if that doesn't work, I can also, you know me and my Etsy shops, I have located this one dyer. Her name is Divine. Oh my gosh, I love, love, love the wool that she does and how well she's putting it together. So here, I'm going to put it on the screen again. Divine Dye Works. I've been buying almost all her skeins of yarn, all the wool, most of the wool, I shouldn't say all, a lot of the wool I've been purchasing of recently that's hand dyed. I've been buying it from her Etsy shop and I have no regrets. One, it gets here ridiculously quick. Two, it is exactly as described online. So she will continue to get my business. So I went ahead and purchased this beautiful your wool that's super fine. Oops, I'm so sorry about the lighting. Here, maybe if I do this, I'll change that. Okay, it's going to be that way. But anywho, it's 70% superfine merino and 30% white cashmere. And for every bag, you get 6 ounces, which is about 170 grams. And I figured I can also spend some wool for this too, but I'm not quite consistent yet with DK. And this is definitely a DK. I want to say it's like more of a sport version for the Cardiff cashmere. And I'm not that skilled yet. So I tend to do more of the heavy DK light worsted or a worsted spun or weight, I should say. So with all that said, I'm not too sure I'm going to be using hand spun for the Rosie sweater, but I definitely would like to use some hand spun for the cardigan just that recently came out by Andrea Mowry. So that is, I want to say that, oh no, I'm lying. There's another project I wanted to tell you guys about. So far so good with that particular project. Another project I just have to say, we should always try other hand dyers because you might find someone that's going to blow your mind with the yarn. And I have to say that for leading men. I've heard Kevin and Ray mention this particular brand of yarn a few times on their podcast. And when I was at Rhinebeck a few years ago, I was like, I saw one of these little mini skeins. I was like, oh, I'll pick it up just in case I want to put it in a pair of socks. And as you can see, I did nothing with it and it's just been sitting here. And I didn't realize I had bought one of the Hits 50 or one of their 50 gram skeins, and it's just been sitting in my collection. Well, fast forward to random day playing on YouTube, and I saw Stoneknits has a new pattern out for Valentine's socks, and I was like, what is this? Y'all, I'm in love. So I went ahead and caked up the wool. I broke it in half so that way I can do 2 socks at a time. But then I forgot that I wanted to do 2 socks at a time. So I didn't end up casting that on. But what I did do was cast this on. I decided to go bright. Summer Lee inspires me so often. And she always talks about doing bright colors. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do bright colors too. So this is what my brightness looks like. I'm going to try to tone down, try to change the lighting a little bit to see if that will help. So you can see it. Hopefully you can you see the hearts, how it's coming out? And so my colorwork socks are doing pretty well. I am using the method of folding it inside out. I am making sure that I'm pushing my tension, my stitches down, so that way it's not bunching up. I'm having so much fun and I'm so excited that this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday, so I can spend the entire Super Bowl knitting these pair of socks. My hope is that I will have a pair of socks completed. But the problem is that I went ahead and cast on a second pair of socks. I love knitting socks, as I mentioned before, and so I wanted to cast on another one. So this is another Stoneknits sock. Again, Summer Lee's inspired me to go out of my comfort zone in terms of the color. So I had this beautiful skein of yarn that I purchased from Pick Up Every Stitch last year at Rhinebeck. And here are my socks. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It looks like a coffee mug, which is supposed to. Oh my God, this brings me so much joy. You have no idea. So I'm almost finished with the leg. I'm loving this. I'm loving this so much. But anywho, there's with the leg, to finish the leg, you're going to do this portion again and this portion again, and then you're done. And then it's just straight stockinette and around, which is perfect. So that way you can get a feel for doing it. And my hope is that I would get more consistent with it. I'm still determined to make my custard, rhubarb, excuse me, socks. That is still on the horizon somewhere, but I figure if I can get better with the tension and just nailing this down, I'm going to totally be successful with that. So all in all, I am really proud of that. And what is so cool, sorry, my joy is like so up there. I actually started the color work using Magic Loop, and I couldn't believe it. It was actually working. And the only reason why I switched to the 9-inch circular needles is because I was feeling fatigue, and I was afraid I was going to become inconsistent with the tension. So that's the reason why I switched over to it. But it was pretty cool. I was like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm doing it with Magic Loop, because I don't do Magic Loop and color work very well on socks right now. It's not my best. But I believe, wait a second, let me just double check one more time. That's it for my current works and projects. My imagination blanket, which is sitting right here, is a little bit on break. I plan on picking it back up again on my Sundays, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, because this Sunday I want to knit my colorwork socks. Next Sunday, my hope is to do some sewing and some crocheting and just keep my fingers nimble and going. Next week is our last full week of school before we go on February break. And so I've already got myself mentally prepared for it. So I'm super excited. I made plans for my kids, for myself. Like we're all doing all the little snuggly things we like to do. No traveling this break, but we will do some travels in April. I figure it's okay to stay home and enjoy our beautiful home. But so I'm just making up all the excuses humanly possible so I can just stay in my craft room and just craft. But all in all, I'm really am excited. I have some other acquisitions I can talk about later on when I'm ready to actually put them on the needles. But all in all, I must say that I am so grateful for those of you who keep returning, and as well as those of you who are new to the channel. I hope that you continue to enjoy the content I'm producing. The next time I will post, I plan to hopefully share with you updates about my spinning. Here is my little bobbin here. She's hanging in there. I've started spinning for the Jaunty, and so this is up and going, and I cannot wait to share with you about that journey. Other things to share with you. I have been listening to too many audiobooks and reading so many books as well. And so just to share with you, I'm currently listening to The Heat of the Everflame, which is actually pretty engaging. It's like a mix between Sarah Moss and what's her name? Rebecca Yarros. If you're looking for that fantasy, it's perfect. I am then going to be reading The Scammer. I cannot wait to read this. This is a book by Tiffany D. Jackson. She writes good books, and they are so scary, but not like the scary that where you can't function for hours, the scary that makes you think and think and think well after the story. She reminds me a little bit of Stephen King. Stephen King's books always made me think, like ponder the reading. Like I read that fantasy book he did. I'm still thinking about it. There is another book he did that I can't remember the title of it, but I'm still thinking about the story. Like I love authors who are doing that. After I'm successful with those two books, I'm then going to read George Orwell, 1984. Everyone's been talking about it. When I say everyone, I hear people mentioning it on YouTube. And I'm like, I haven't read that book since I was in 8th grade, and I didn't enjoy it then. So let me try reading it again. Maybe I can find some more substance in it. And then finally, I'm reading and listening to Lynn Painter's book. She has a whole bunch of rom-com stories that are young adult that are really entertaining, and I enjoy them. They make me laugh out loud. So we all need laughter in our life, right? So the new book I'm going to be reading is called Happily Never After. So that's going to be on my list. And I just bought home another book that I'm going to read and listen to. And this is by Dr. Benjamin, Ruha Benjamin. She is the author of the book Rival Justice. And I listened to one of her presentations and I was inspired by this woman. She is incredible. I don't know why I haven't found the courage to reach out to her, to invite her to speak at in my classroom, and hopefully I will work up the courage to do that, because she offered to do so, and she teaches literally right across the street from my school. So I genuinely have no excuse. I'm just nervous. You know how when you meet someone who really inspires you, I don't know. I'm that person. But anywho, I'm excited to read it and listen to it at the same time. So that way, when at nighttime when I'm reading, I can read it. And then when I'm, doing whatever it is I'm doing and have my headphones, I can listen to it too. So that's what I'm listening to and reading. And I'm watching Stranger Things, and it's all due to my little boys. So they heard from one of my knitting friends that her and her kids were watching it. I guess when the kids were talking, they had mentioned it that they were watching Stranger Things. And so they were like, well, we want to watch Stranger Things too. So they sat down with my husband and watched episode 1 and fell in love. And I was like, well, let me catch up. By the time I was ready to sit down to catch up with them, these boys, one of them's on season 4 and the other one's on season 3. And I'm like, give me a second to catch up with you. But it's fun seeing them fall in love with the show. They also just recently fell in love with wrestling. And I remembered how much I loved wrestling when I was their age as well. So it's funny listening to them talk about the different moves that wrestlers make and whatnot. I'm just like, if you only knew, if you only knew, boys. But hey, whatever entertains them is all good. And my 9-year-old is now obsessed with Dogman. And I was like, great, because my 11-year-old was obsessed with it, and now my 9-year-old's obsessed with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to be buying more Dogman books because God forbid they share. But anywho, it's fun watching them enjoy and entertain themselves. And so that's what I'm going to do. I hope you found this to be inspiring for your future knits. Check out these different patterns that are on Ravelry. That's going to just open your mind, open your heart, and give you something creative to do with your hands. In really quick, I just wanted to remind folks the make along is still going. So if you are someone interested in signing up for the make along, please fill out the Google form. It's on the community post, and I will be sure to include a link in the description. In addition, with the make along, there are 3 prizes, and so I'm going to randomly select individuals, and it will be a gift card to individuals who are successful in sharing out their finished object. I will share more details about it. I'm going to film something next week to talk about it a little bit more, but if you're interested, sign up. I hope my quick overviews about the different patterns were helpful to you, and if you have any questions, leave a comment or reach out to me on Ravelry, and thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.